What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Minion Simulator. Today I'm going to be hatching a total of 80 fantasy chests. That's right, 80 fantasy chests. Hoping to have the last chance to get a Night Phantom. If not, then I'm going to go ahead and hatch glitch chests because there is a pet that I really do want to get, and that is the Thunderbird. The Thunderbird and the Cobalt Dragons, I mean, they have a 1.5% chance and they look amazing. Let's get right into this. 80 of these chests, that's what we have, and if you don't know how I got these at this time, it's because I hatched a lot of these, a total of 87 of them, during the time where the fantasy chests were just new. Those are the previous chests prior to this one, the glitch chest. The fantasy chests were just new, and for the first 2 hours it had the odds of like 1 in a million, something like that, to hatch a Titanic. And then they changed that to 0.05%, and that was good, that's what it stuck to. But if you did hatch it in the first 2 hours, what the devs did is that they reimbursed every single person that hatched those chests regardless of the amount that you hatched, and they made it right for everyone. So this is why I have 87 of these, and what I'm gonna do is, by the time you watch this video, I'm gonna edit it and make it a lot shorter than it actually is, because 87 of these to hatch, and as you can see, I'm just hatching fire gremlins. Oh my gosh, there are so many of these fire gremlins, like, go away. If you're gonna stay here, give me a lightning. I would accept that any day. A lightning exclusive, that would be amazing to have. Something that I want to see, of course, in this chest is a Titanic. If I don't get a Titanic, the next best option is most likely, maybe we're gonna see a huge, that's a lightning, from this chest. What's it called? Spring Walker? I think it's, yeah, Spring Walker, huge Spring Walker. Oh, and speaking of huge Spring Walker, there we go. Oh, that's why we have the Discord notification. I always remind myself to shut that off before I do these hatch videos, but I always forget to do that. You know, like, what can I do? Goldfish memory sometimes. But what I do like, though, is the element of surprise. And in this game, if you don't zoom in like I'm zooming in right now, then you don't get that element of surprise once these show up. In this game, as soon as you click to hatch, before the pet has a chance to pop out of that chest, what happens is they appear before you. So you get to see what they are before the animation starts, which show them popping out of the chest. Although this hatch method and the way this looks is basically the same as Pet Simulator X, what happens in Pet Simulator is that the egg keeps on expanding and then explodes, and that's when you see the pet that's inside that chest or inside that egg. But in Minion Simulator, before this chest has a chance to hatch, you see the pet right behind your avatar, which, to be honest, isn't a big deal. I'm pretty sure that if a developer was told that this is the case that happens, it's not the same as the other game, then I'm sure it's probably going to be a very quick fix or something that's not going to take a lot of time. But this is only noticeable because I do YouTube videos, and on YouTube people like to be surprised. They don't like to see stuff hatched and then it appears behind your avatar. That's completely different. There we go, we got the lightning buddy 2 there. Wow, that alone is worth 1.5 billion. So it's starting to look good. We have a total of 80 chests, 25 more to go, and hopefully we get something else that's good. I see a lot of buddy 3s, which is awesome. A ton of buddy 2s. We don't want the buddy 1s, but eventually it's going to be a lot of buddy 1s. But I also would love to have that Titanic. That Night Phantom looks gorgeous. I love it. I can't wait to see it if I get a chance to get it, if it's going to be a possibility. If not, you know, at least I tried. This is something that's been stuck to my head for such a long time now, and my friends are convincing me to hatch. Some are convincing me not to hatch, to go ahead and sell them. And I'm just gonna add something by the time you guys watch this video. I'm just gonna add somewhere here on the screen what the ad would have looked like if I did sell these chests. I was so ready to do this and to sell them because I needed the 44 huges. But then I thought of it, this is the last and final chance at the Night Phantom. We are down to 1 chest. So here goes, here's the final chance, and it's no Titanic. But 1 huge and 1 lightning buddy pet is so bad out of 80 chests combined. I mean, look at the total. We have 40 buddy 1 pets. We got 29 buddy 2 pets, and then 9 buddy 3 pets. 1 huge, 1 lightning buddy 2. That is so bad. If you look at the value of everything hatched versus what it could have been if I sold the chest myself. This is what I hatched. Exact value 2.539 billion gold versus what I could have gotten, which is 3.6 billion gold. If it's 45 million each chest, that's a loss of 1.061 billion. So yeah, that is a loss, but there was so many things that could have happened. I could have had another chance, or my last chance at getting a Night Phantom. I could have had a Lightning Huge, a lot of things that I had to think of in order to convince myself to hatch them rather than selling, and that's the path I chose. If you have been following me for the past 2 years on Twitter, or maybe if you just watched my videos for the past 2 years for other games besides Minion Simulator, then you will know that I'm very much family orientated and I love to play the games with my nieces and nephews. But one thing both of them don't like me to do is to get into their account and do something. They have that sort of limit, hey, did you get into my account? And they can't say anything. they can't say anything, but I know that it bugs them. In this case though, I wasn't gonna say that I use their account or I use her account, but in this case, I do have a good reason, because if you notice on the top, it says 9 out of 50. Because I know that this account is lucky, what I did was, watch, I clicked on it. I clicked open 3. It's not a joke or something, I actually clicked on open 3. I'm zoomed in and I don't see anything. And I was like, what's going on? Nothing hatched. But did you notice what I noticed? Can you see what I see? Right there on the left. That means it was hatched on the 12th chest. It is right there on the 12th chest. I cannot believe I got a Titanic Asgardian Wolf. I cannot believe it. At the moment that I got this, I didn't have my microphone because I wasn't expecting this to happen. Now, usually when I hatch something as amazing as this, maybe, I would usually have a reaction where I would just yell. I would just say yes, or just a normal thing. It's like watching a match. When someone scores the ball or gets the ball in the hoop, you just have that really, really happy reaction. In this case, my hands were shaking. The moment I saw it in my inventory, I didn't even realize that it was there until I zoomed out completely from the character. I zoomed out and I saw it behind me. Even then, I couldn't believe that that was mine. I went back to the inventory, saw it, and I just had this reaction it's a build-up of how you inhaled it. I can't even explain it. It's kind of funny now to think about it, but at that time, I don't know, it's such a weird feeling, but also a very, very good feeling. And look at this, the aerial view of this, and you can't even see my character, which is basically under its chin. And just look at how magnificent that looks. It is so massive that once you teleport to Future Shop, you're within the inner circle of that platform. This thing takes up the entire space and more of that inner circle. That's how massive this pet is. And with the added rainbow particles it has on its back, it's just a lot taller than you would expect. But compared to this one here, which is the Titanic Night Phantom, this is just super, super wide compared to that. Now here's the Titanic that I currently have in my inventory, but it is not the one that I hatched. The one that I hatched actually has Magic Gems 2 on it, also has the Bucket Smasher 2, but different enchants. This one says that only 5 of them exist in the game, but in reality, this is why it says 5. So when I got this one, I traded it from the account that hatched it to my main account, and as you can see, this says that 2 of them exist in game. Magic Gems 2 on this one, and what happened was, as you can see from my avatar and the pickaxe moving, it got stuck in the trade. It stayed there for a while and I just didn't know what to do. This happened with Chase and myself last time, so I was very familiar with this. But even though it says that 2 exist, but we know that one of them has to be spawned maybe by a dev, 2 of them belong to players in game because we've seen pictures on Discord, and then the 4th one is this one. So this says 4 that exists in game, and it stayed that way until the developers fixed the situation and gave me back the Titanic, and that's how the 5th one appeared. These are the other 2 players besides myself that actually have one of these. I don't know who they are exactly. One of them is King Aiden. I don't know who the other person is, but I know that the first one has been spawned, maybe most likely by a developer. That has to be the case, because one thing you have to notice that if someone hatches one of these Titanics, the first thing that they do is go parading in every single server. There's no way that you can convince me that someone hatched one of these and decided to keep it in their inventory and not show it off. So let's talk about value. Why is this so expensive and why am I not gonna lend this out for indexing? Because guys, I'm really sorry if you're a friend or you're close to me, there's only 2 or 3 people that I will give this to index, but I can't do it for the majority because of how valuable this pet is. To a point where a lot of people might suggest that it's worth 50 to 60 billion gold, and all the huges that you see on the left side of the screen are worth 40 billion only, not 50 or 60, but 40 billion gold, and still people will not accept anything for one of these Titanics. Titanics are just on another level now. There's nothing in the game that you can have to trade for it. I think in the future, if I was even thinking of trading that Titanic, it would most likely be for another Titanic with an extra payment of really expensive huges just for profit to make that trade worth it for the other person. But for right now, I'm not willing to trade this. But in the future, if these Titanics are easier to get and the value is a lot lower than it is now, then yes, I'll be able to be more lenient towards indexing or letting others index this pet. But for now, I just can't do that. It's too much of a risk, but only limited to like 2 or 3 people. So once again, here is proof. Today, everything that you've seen is proof that you don't need 100 or 200 chests in order to hatch a Titanic. I did it in 12 and I proved it to you guys. Another person claims to have done it in 18. And if you're trying to pursue this and get one of these for yourselves, I really encourage it and I wish you guys the best of luck. That is the end of today's video, everyone. I really hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, it would mean a lot to me if you can leave a like down below. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. That would mean so much more. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day or evening wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you all on the next one.